We want to encourage those who want to remain corrupt and steal money. The money should be used to bless our people. Thank you and God bless.
You stop the bank, yo. All right, so fellow Liberians, home and abroad, it's a privilege again for us to be on here. And we want to use this time to extend our thanks and appreciation to all of you that have joined us under the Palava Hut. We want to say thank you so very kindly for your presence here. And as usual, what we are here to do is to provide you the authentic information, the factual information. So, as usual, we ask that you kindly hit for us the share button, share with friends, share with family members as we engage in our discussion. I want to use this time to welcome each and every one of you in a special way. I want to say welcome to Jackson McGill. Thank you so much, Jackson McGill, watching us there from Pennsylvania. Thank you so very kindly. We appreciate your presence and you are recognized. John David, you are highly welcome, Yapaulo. We appreciate your presence here. John David Yapaulo, thank you so much for joining us. We also want to use this time to welcome Lawrence Junior Kofa. Thank you so much, Lawrence Junior Kofa, for your presence here. Watching us there from Capital Bypass, you are welcome. We appreciate you at this time for joining us. Thank you so very kindly. Our regards there to you and the family and everyone that is joining you in watching us from Capital Bypass. So you are represented. Thank you so much. Boima Victor, you are highly welcome. Dago, you are highly welcome. Thank you so much, Boima Victor. We appreciate your presence here. It's a privilege for us to have you here. We also want to welcome each and every one of you. My own lovely sister, Hawa Tote, you are highly welcome. Claudia Allison, how are you, Mama? I want to appreciate and welcome you. Thank you so very kindly. So those of you that have joined us, just make it known by at least, sending out a comment so that we can adequately recognize and appreciate you. Deconti Nouvelle, how are you? You are highly welcome. Thank you so much joining us there from Dubai. Dubai is in the house. We appreciate your presence and we salute you. Thank you so much, Deconti, for your presence here. So you can be like, Deconti, be like others who will signal to us. Gregory, thank you so much. Japa, you are highly welcome. We appreciate you, Gregory, for joining us. GSA Rose in the house. We want to welcome you. We appreciate your presence here. Those of you that are joining us, just make it known so that we can adequately recognize you and appreciate your presence on the platform. Joyce, how are you? Joyce UJ, how are you, my lovely, lovely sister Joyce? How are you, Mama? It's been a while. I hope you are doing well, fine, and okay. Our regards there to the family. Thank you so, so very kindly. We appreciate you and want to say welcome to you, Joyce. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You are highly, highly welcome. We appreciate you. So, all of you that are joining us, again, do us a favor. Join us, and let's have a very, very wonderful time. Yeah. Okay. Uh, all right. Okay. So just do us that favor. Hit for us the share button, share with friends, share with family members, and you're gonna be good. Yeah. T Zeha, thank you so much for joining us. We do appreciate you. Thank you so much. Sambulai Edwin, thank you so much. Peter Jala, we appreciate your presence. Thank you so very kindly. I mean, all of you that are joining us, we actually want to appreciate you and we want to say you are highly, highly welcome. So let's go to our live feed as we bring in our people. Thank you so much, Joyce. She's at work, but she stayed with us under the Palava Hut. We want to say thank you. Let's bring in our people. Let's bring in our people. Uh, let's use this time to welcome. Uh, let's use this time to welcome our own brother Jake. Brother Jake, how are you, sir? How's everything, Chief?
Yeah, okay, okay, Chief. Everything okay here. The only thing the weather just going down now. The cold
Yeah,
reducing now. Yeah, the cold
definitely.
reducing.
Even on our side, on our side is the same. You're having a
Okay.
wonderful time. The weather today. I went out at least, to go and observe some things, and the weather is becoming fine, and and
Yeah.
and very mild that all of us can enjoy. So we give God the glory for that. My brother Frank, uh, welcome, Chief. How are you, sir?
Hey, Prince, I'm doing good. How you doing, Wilma?
Yeah, what's up, brother? Brother Frank.
Well, again, to our audience, we want to say, as usual, kindly do us a favor, and that favor that I require for you or from you is to kindly hit for us the share button, please. Hit for us the share button, share with friends, share with family members, so that we all can have a very good time. Victoria Dixon, how are you? Emmanuel Pajibo Brown, you are highly welcome. Sia Fire, thank you so much for joining us. We want to appreciate you. So, time, if is of essence. So we have Jonas Zapuga. How are you, sir? We want to say you are highly welcome, Jonas Zapuga. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you. It's a privilege for us to have you here. And all of you that are joining us want to say welcome. So let's go straight to our brother Frank. Let's hear from you within the next 2 minutes. Tell us what you have on your plate. And let's just hear your opening comment as we get ready to engage with our people. Let's hear from you, sir.
First of all, I just want to thank the Most High for a great Friday and for a great show tonight we're gonna have. I mean, over the course of the week, some of the thing I was able to capture was there's a petition I think going around the corner from um, the noise maker about trying to petition Yaka Kolba to remove him from the House of Representatives, uh, indicating that his utterance or his behavior um, is not according to state government official. That's what they say. So I would maybe like to throw light on that.
Okay.
As also what I saw or heard that the so-called president, Boakai, uh, tried to get in touch with the speaker, the constitutionally elected speaker that they tried to remove. Why not? I would like to also discuss on the reason why he's now calling the speaker to talk to him. What is
Thank
so those are some of the things and other things can be discussed.
All right. Thank you so very kindly. Abraham, that one, thank you so much for joining us. Johnson Dole, you are highly welcome. Thank you so very kindly. We appreciate you. Those of you that are joining us on the YouTube channel, want to say thank you so much. And those of you that are not following us on the YouTube, we want to appeal to you. You can just follow us on the YouTube, subscribe, follow us on the YouTube, and it's going to be very fine. So, again, our brother Abraham, that is on the YouTube, we want to say you are highly welcome and thank you so very kindly. Let's hear from our brother Wilmot. Our brother Wilmot, what is on your list? Take the next 2 minutes. Let's hear. Let's enter in your genre and
Yeah.
hear what you
For
have for
me,
us.
yeah, thank you, brother Sherry. For me, to the follower, you have to share this video. For me, the training topic that going on in the country already, the former president, So another sound coming from somewhere.
Yeah. I caught it. It was from my
Okay.
end.
Yeah,
I
the training topic, the former president, Madam Johnson Sirleaf, addressed, I think, said something on the forum concerning Liberia, that we own our own, that everybody discussing in Liberia. And furthermore, I would just like to give some tip to the Unity Party, because for us, when it comes to money, to find money all around the world, I like to inform my country, because my country, I'm first. So I get some tip for the Unity Party to see how they can go about. They use a story that $51 million. So I get some tip for them. Probably when they can work it up, it will be good for the country. Yeah, well, that's it.
Thank you so very kindly. So our very first story is what you started with, that has to do with the meeting that was held, and Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf spoke. So we are going to be playing that particular clip. It's a 6-minute clip. We're going to be playing it, and then we are going to be discussing it. So it's going to be our first issue for discussion. It's going to be our first topic of discussion. That will be our very, very first topic of discussion. So we want to say again to all of you, share, invite friends, invite family members. I'm going to have a very good time. So Frank
Mhm.
Jones Stowe, you are highly welcome. Samuel Sherman, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you. So we want to start with our very first story, and we want you to listen to what Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf had to say, about Liberia, about what is obtaining. So we want to play this, and then we are going to discuss from what we have here. So let's go ahead, and we want for each and every one of you to listen keenly. It's a 6-minute clip,
Consequences.
and let's just listen keenly.
More than ever, we are on our own. We are on our own.
She emphasized that statement, so I want you to listen very keenly. Again, it's about 6 minutes. We are not going to interrupt it. We are going to allow her to speak. Maybe if time is not in our favor, we'll call it short. But listen and listen keenly.
More than ever, we are on our own. We are on our own. There's no unreal, and there will be no international force in our country to turn to our nation's security if we choose to break our own laws. There is now is not the time for members of our national security institution to be engaged in public scuffle among themselves that can only serve to undermine public trust and confidence in their sworn duty to maintain and enforce law and order. Also now is definitely not the time for the Supreme Court to deliver an ambiguous ruling that may take us away from a peaceful resolution of the knowingly disruption unfolding in This is not the time for legislatures to spend their time bickering and spending the nation reserves in the interest of accumulation of power and reserves. The truth is that there will also be, if we do the right thing, consequences when we act with courage to do the right thing, or we would falter in dereliction by pretending blindness in the face of an obvious wrong. May I remind that courage is the cornerstone of our nation. It took courage to declare our independence, to conclude an end to our wars and to defeat Ebola. Courage is a part of our national DNA. I say this to inspire all of us
and to make the point that now and always it will require our imperative courage to join into our destiny of democracy, inclusive development, unity, and political accountability. And fellow Liberians, now also is the time for weakening legislative oversights so that we continue to act in fulfillment of narrow sub-issues. Let me repeat that also. It's not the time for weakening legislative oversights so that we continue to act in fulfillment of narrow self-interest and what is best for a party over what is necessary for our country. Partisan legislatures may make for a strong political party, but statesmen and women legislature will make for a better country. If a legislator wish to imprint their names in history, to be remembered fondly and honorably, choose being a statesman or a stateswoman. This will mean standing alone sometimes. Being right and true to one's principle can sometimes mean standing alone and setting on the courage of one's conviction rather than taking loss unconsciously in a crowd and disrobe of both conviction and principles. Today, the duty is to do the right thing. It has never weighed more heavily on all of us, on our leaders, and on us as citizens. According to the World Bank, Liberia's GDP growth rate fell to 0.4% in 2024, emphasizing the urgent need for economic reforms. Only 28% of the population has reliable access to electricity. Only about 5 out of every 10 Liberians can read and write, with a literacy rate at approximately 48%. Challenges in healthcare quality and access remain daunting. The reality of these circumstances that our nation is faced with today must compel all of us to govern ourselves more responsibly and more accountably.
Thank you all so very kindly. So we are not going to end it. Almost finished, but we are not. The condition, the circumstances our country is faced with require all of us to be able to govern ourselves, to put ourselves in order. We listen keenly to the voice of the former president of the Republic of Liberia, Madam Johnson Sirleaf. My sister Nina Kuya, you are welcome. Deco, she's one of the honorable there. She's a sister. I want to say you are highly welcome. She's joining us there from Liberia. Thank you so very kindly, honorable now. So you are highly welcome. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Nina Kuya, how are you? You are highly welcome. Johnson, all of you are welcome. So we're listening to Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf to give us a bit of historicity of Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. She is the former president of the Republic of Liberia. Her words, what she say, what she see, has weight. She is also appointed by the World Health Organization. I want you to listen. I'm going to give you a few. Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf was appointed by the World Health Organization as a co-chair. The World Health Organization. She was appointed by the World Health Organization as a co-chair for independent panel on pandemic preparedness and response. That was the appointment from the World Health Organization. Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf also has an institution that is referred to as the President Sirleaf, women, it's some kind of it's some kind of women let me see, let me get this here, just a
She
minute.
got she got a foundation.
Yeah, she got a foundation, yes, that has to do with female, but I just want to get it here. Yeah, I
Female
just want to,
empowerment.
yeah, it's female empowerment. I just want to get it here. Ellen Johnson said, okay. It's Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf Presidential Center for Women. Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf Presidential Center, yeah. Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf Presidential Center for Women and Development. That is the foundation she's having. So that particular foundation brings together women around the world. I mean, serious-minded politicians, serious-minded women that are listening to by the world, at large, that are very, very much influential in their own politics. So it is that particular organizations that she controls. It's a very good thing for us as Liberians. First female president have such a foundation and organization where she can bring together different people from across the world. I mean, influential women. So the woman that is talking, Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, that is making this statement, she is not just any ordinary person. That is what we need to understand. Not just an ordinary person talking to say, well, I heard that ordinary person, let lead the people then. Not just this is somebody who comes with a lot of experience. She has so many influence that you cannot, just kick under the carpet or ignore. She has a lot of influence. She talked to so many people. And you listening to Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf talking about this issue of what is happening in our country, where you hear Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf saying that we are on our own. So I want to start from our brother Jake, because I know he's listening to it very well. My brother Jake, for the next 3 minutes, tell us what is concerning about this statement, especially all that you've listened to, coming from Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, the former president of the Republic of Liberia, one, who has influence. You cannot take that from her, like her or hate her. You can't take that from her. She has a lot of influence. She has a lot of following. She has people who believe in her. She connects to so many people the world over. Let's hear from you, my brother. What is concerning about that statement? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And the follower, please have to share this video. Prince, that statement speaks volume. I want everybody in the Republic of Liberia discussing it. As you already said, introduce her profile, everybody know her. Prince, that woman you saw on that stage, Prince, she's 85 going to 86 years old. See how she's standing on that stage. See the English. See how she got the English under her control. She been around for many decades in the political arena for many decades. Let's give her credit no matter what. Nobody's perfect. Prince, the woman came to power. All our institution in Liberia was broken. After Charles Taylor left that country, everything was broken. She built all the institutions. She brought rule of law, the freedom of speech, where everybody enjoying to day was under her watch and her presidency. Who was the vice president? Joseph Yeman Boaka. She handpicking to become vice president. Today, you see that statement that came from a recent Prince? She's an economic guru. Everybody know it from the Howard University. Give her credit. She been there. She been in that seat. She know how it look like. So if a complete nation is failing, she's one of the best persons to speak to this thing than anybody else in the Republic of Liberia. She been there. She saw it. She had a vice president when he said he was an old car parking, that he couldn't function, and that was a lie. As a vice president, you can function. It depends on you. So she know what she's saying, that we own our own. Economically, we own our own presently. Because she know it. On that regime, Prince, they had over 15,000 United Nations troops under that watch. Millions of dollars poured into that country. United Nations was spending $150 million in the Liberian economy. I'm not talking about what remittance alone. So on her watch, you know what she's talking to. Then remittance, which is the people in the West were spending She have of $500 million on economy on that time when she and Joseph Yimam Bwaka. UN, she had donor partners and other things then. So she know the United Nation was on that ground. The United Nation poor. But if President a cashier in the whole statement, why she never made that statement on a George MANNEH we on our own. Because you know why? George had a connection that everybody was not thinking, oh, George don't have connection. United Nations poured on our country. $150,000 poured on $150 million poured on our country. We took it our own job, we took it our own security. 6 good years, nothing crumbled. Peace reign in our lane, freedom of speech ring. No cracking down on nobody. That was the reason Ellen Johnson Sirleaf never endorsed Joseph Bwaka. We know it. You remember praying the famous story when George Weah was running. Ellen invited George in Nima County for a groundbreaking ceremony. Everybody know that, so you can go to video. So Ellen would lean on the George Weah side because Ellen believed that George Weah had a piece of that. George Weah know that country and George Weah could take care of that country. But she never trusted Joseph Yimam Bwaka. Why you seeing today, Prince? It's a revenge statement she's saying to the Liberian people. Because let me remind Liberian, they're quick to forget. Money from the executive branch of government on George Weah. George Weah was spending $1 million on her foundation. On her foundation to empower women. But when Joseph Bwaka then came to bury the woman, like I say, they scraped that money out today. That money should have left there because she's a former president. She empowering a lot of great people. So you see what you see going on? He trying to bury her, like I say. They cannot see eye to eye. That's the same thing the present president doing that with the former president George MANNEH Weah. So she came, she have the international community connection. So she know no money poor in our country. Let me remind Liberian, the United Party people drive on international community. They drive on peace. When Ellen was there, the money was there because of peace. So now, you see why United Party is struggling now? It was about the grace of God and the connection of George Weah and the peaceful manner of him. And so lobbyists around the world that had George Weah managed that 6 years. Please, I told Liberian people we are a broke nation, a poor nation. But my other panelists, they came here last week, they tried to argue, we get out of great resources, this and that. I told my Liberian people, facts here, all our natural resources are plummeted. They're plummeting. The iron ore, the rubber. Our timber industry was a $1 billion industry. None of them working anymore because a lot of the world recycling. We are a poor nation. Not only about people governing the country. No, we're very poor. Probably there's another debate. But please, you see that legacy then Joseph Bwaka they tried to bury. He tried to bury the woman legacy. So the woman's an economic guru. She knows she get an international eye. She get an international connection. She know it's not easy for the president to turn things around. And what she said, Liberia will own our security apparatus, the whole security apparatus in the disarray, no good rule of law, no freedom of speech. They're cracking down on everybody, even down to lawmaker. So it's a shameful thing to our country right now, Prince. Very shameful, very sad. We hope the United Party can turn it around because they say that they are the smart people. I hope they can turn it around. But that statement she made, we own our own people, according to the United Nations Global Index concerning food, it's Liberia. We beyond. We hungry country, according to the Global Index. I think you check out the front page African newspaper carried out story. People don't have even meal to sleep every day in our country. 5 million plus people. We're in a serious calamity and problems, Prince. So that what I have to say on that situation for now.
Wow. Thank you so very kindly, my brother. Thank you so very kindly. You made a very strong point there. Let's go to our brother Frank. My brother Frank, you did listen to Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. What is your own take There are so many things that she highlighted. She talked about the security. Look, those things that can really encourage the international partners, those things that any serious person who want to invest in a country can look at and say there is a need for me to invest. She talked about
Yes.
the security. She highlighted the security. How, in fact, there is a complete breakdown of the security system. She talked about the judiciary system, our court. How, in fact, their ruling is ambiguous. You can understand it, just zigzag. They just put the country in a complete chaos. She talked about our legislative branch of government, the branch that we say it is the first branch of government. She talked about how disoriented and organized they are. My brother, let's hear from you. There are a lot of things she talked about. And she spoke directly to Fonatikofa when you're listening to her. There's a place where she said that courage is the cornerstone of our nation. She said courage is the cornerstone of our nation. And
Yes.
absolutely, there is no way that our people should bow their heads down to what is happening. What I mean to bad governance and etc. But my brother Frank, let's hear from you. What is your own take? Listening to Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, her beginning statement, we are on our own. Let's hear from you, my brother.
Thank you so much, Brother Prince, and thank you so
Before you
much.
go ahead, I want to welcome Josephine Sewon. You are highly welcome. William Masekwe, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. Johnny F. Willie, how are you? You are highly welcome. I mean, all of you that are joining us, we appreciate you. Elijah Sherman, thank you so very kindly. Let's hear from you, sir.
Thank you again so much, Brother Prince, and Wilma, thank you for opening the statement. And to the followers and the viewer, you see what this lady said. It just proof over the years what we have been saying. What I will tell you here is, Brother Prince, what she said. It is what we saw during the election period, and we spoke about it. Look, from the very first day Joseph Boakai was elected as president, Liberia became a failed state. Liberia became a failed nation. Liberia began to go down the drain from the very first day he was elected. These are things that we say. Now, former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf coming out saying it just proof to the war. It just proof to the Liberian. It just proof to the other people who over the years insulted us, insulted our parents, relative, loved one, to the extent even some of those people that forgo their loved one for Boakai. Today, this statement by former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, it proved us right that what we say about Joseph Boakai being president for this country, it will be the end for another 6 years to come. And what we will endure won't be easy. Now, let me just say this. If Liberian people have forgotten, let me remind them. We told you people Joseph Boakai have a situational disorder. And that situational disorder, it just means memory loss issue when you have schizophrenia as a disease. And every old people can have this. Now, let me remind you. It came a time, one time, his own party had a meeting for him to address the Liberian people. Now, when they did an introduction, and then when they gave him the floor, what Boakai did, he sat down there, didn't know what to say, and he did not even know the stage he was at. He did not even know where he was and what he was there for. To the extent he started asking the people, what should I say? What am I going to say? Now, look at another incident or another reference. This man was on a platform or whatsoever to speak. After the introduction, giving the floor to speak, this man left the stage, turned his back, started going, thinking that what he was there for was done. To the extent one of the security personnel had to walk behind him, tap his shoulder, brought him back to say, no, it is time to speak. And this man came back. situational disorder. Now, this was the same man. Other people prophesy about him that Liberian, if he elect Boycott, that will be the end of Liberia. You will eat sand. You will go on the beach. You will wander. Disaster will happen in our country. We said these things that Boycott was not the right man. And we said these things that the reason why during Ellen and Boycott time, things seems to be better was because you have ECOMO in the country, known as UN as well. You have other peacekeeping force in the country, and these people were the one bringing in the money. These people were the one paying people. In fact, these people were the one paying military personnel in the country at that time. And we told people, oh, what can come? Now that President Weah came and managed this country to the extent paying security personnel that you have good and competent relationship between the citizen and the security personnel. There was good communication, good relation between the citizen and security personnel. Now, journalists were all around. Freedom of speech was never violated, was given to the Liberian people. Our educational sector, very first time, was open to the public. And other how they call it sector, like the medical facility, right, was open to the public. Former President MANNEH Weah was investing in it gradually. And you look at this kind of man, you talking from there because this man told you he was a rescuer. This man told you he had partners. Now, over the years, we told you people, if Boycott had partners, what did those partners do during a 12 years period when he was president? Now, you can still see President MANNEH Weah contribution to the country, even though he's not a president, but you can still see his individual contribution he's still doing in the country. When Boycott was in opposition, what was his individual contribution as a party or as an individual to the nation? These are the things that we look at and try to judge Boycott and told the Liberian people, and the Liberian people did not understand us, and they said they do not want such a man who love and have vision for the country. They did not want a man who believed in peace. They did not want a man who loved his country and believed that Liberian people should not be spectator in their country. And we saw that during the past 6 or 7 years. When MANNEH Weah was heavily invested in Liberia, and Liberia was taking the opportunity not to become spectator, but at least to become part of a nation that they will compete with each other. And not to get position because of favor, not to get position because you have slept with somebody, or because you have a government or godpa, or because you have spent some kind of money. Look at when these people came to power. Look at it, even the first lady, the current first lady, taking money from people to give them scholarship. These are the kind of things we saw. A man came to a presidency, or a man came to the higher seat of our country to the extent chaos started right at the moment. Like the former president Johnson Sirleaf said, security are fighting each other. Every time you wake up, you see security fighting each other. The army fighting the police, police fighting army, police fighting, how they call it, immigration officer. To the extent police fighting each other, to the extent some of them have to die from their own hands, from their own police officer. To the extent Liberia is no longer being represented to ECOWAS. Look at how they humiliated Liberia on the ECOWAS stage. Look at how they look down on Liberia. Look at how they disgrace Liberia. But right when you're talking about ECOWAS or you're talking about AU, Liberia should be the forerunner of those two entities based on some kind of mere history anyway. But we know the impact of Liberia when you talk about independence, when you talk about movement, when you talk about leadership given to other African nations, when African nations look up to Liberia in the 60s for leadership role, for independence, when Kwame Nkrumah them look up to Liberia, when most of the AU meeting was held in Liberia. But look at today at that ECOWAS meeting. Look at how Sierra Leone disgraced Liberia. And not to say I'm getting angry at Sierra Leone, because Sierra Leone spoke the truth. Other nations spoke the truth, like Nigeria also spoke the truth. Those people were downhearted to speak to a big brother like that. Because Liberia is a big brother to Nigeria. I'm not talking about in terms of economy, but I'm talking about in terms of contribution, leadership, independence, and liberation. Liberia is a big brother. Liberia is a forerunner. We know the history. But when Sierra Leone and Nigeria began to talk to Liberia like that, it's not like knock down on Liberia, but it was the truth that they were saying. Why should Bouakai allow Liberia to disgrace Liberia at that stage? To disgrace Liberia when Liberia is supposed to be the one telling the other nation where we came from and where we are going, where we are heading. But Liberia is the one today. How can you have two speakers? How can you try to remove a constitutional elected speaker and you carry a regime speaker to an ECOWAS meeting and you think that will withstand and you think that will be recognized? How can you do that, Bouakai? And for the 2 years old man experience now, or we can say for the 6 years experience in government, is this a nation that you said, if you don't win this nation, there will be no more Liberia? Is this a nation that you said, we will build this country? Because one of your slogan is, no matter what y'all do, no matter what they do, we will build this nation. How are you going to build this nation? But let me say this before I even end. You know, gratitude is the beginning of breakthrough. Gratitude is the beginning of breakthrough. This man came to power. The first thing he should have done to give gratitude to the two former leaders of a nation. Because no matter what you do, those people are part of the executive ruling mandate of the nation. You never leave them out. When he came to power, he never showed those people gratitude. He was mad at Ellen Johnson Sirleaf because, according to him, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf parking as a parked car. According to him, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf did not support him and went and left the party and supported Weah. So what he's doing, or what he came to do, was to show Ellen that I am not the president. I am not in charge. This is what I'm going to do, and you can do nothing. You see, when you run a country like that, you get into power and forgo those who been there, those who had their connection. You will never succeed. And that is what Ellen Johnson said he have seen and said, Liberia, we are done. We have failed and we are going nowhere. And I will tell you this before I end, Brother Prince. I don't think Bouakai will end his 6th term. He will not make it. We have not even gone the first 3 years or half time. We have not gone yet. We just got 1 year and a half and just into the second years. I will tell you this. What I see coming, Bouakai will not end his second term. I mean, his first term.
Thank you. Thank you so very kindly, my brother. There are a few things that I want to highlight on Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, a session that she made. The first thing is none of us can take away from Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf her connection. Once you are a former president of a nation, you make friends in the international community. People believe in you. People will talk to you. People will ask you. You know, there is this particular conversation, right, that people have. I give you an example. When I used to serve as a chief commissioner of the Liberia Scout Association, I was a member of the War Scout Association called WOSM, where all leaders, of the Scout Association in the whole world, where all of us go on, these various sunny we chat about our country and etc. etc. I am no longer serving in that capacity. I used to be there before. I'm no longer serving there. But every time we have meetings with other colleagues especially in the African region. They call it WOSOM in the African region, former African leaders of the Scout institution. And we chat with each other about how our association is doing, how our organization is going on. It's almost like every country wants to know about what is happening in this other country as regards to, scouting, what is happening. So we go in that room as former leaders and we compare notes. One will say compare notes. So we compare notes. So people listening to us. So right now, I can tell you what is happening in Liberia, even though I no longer serve as the chief commissioner at the time, or maybe as the head, but I can tell you what is happening in Liberia and what are some of the international agenda for Liberia. And I'm sorry to say, but it's not political. Our organization is not a political one, so I'm saying it here. So, as an individual who serves in that capacity, I influence decision too at the level of WhatsApp. If anybody here go and how you call, put it in Google's and ask, or just look at the World Scout organization, you will see my name there. Now, the reason why I am bringing this out is to tell you that when you occupy a certain position of trust, people look up to you. People ask you for your opinion. Your opinion matters a lot. And like I said, Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf is not a common person. This woman was appointed as head of the co-chair of the World Health Organization. Now, the World Health Organization doesn't only mean that they talk about the issue of health, but they meet and ask what is happening in your country. These people give briefing about what is happening in their country. They explain to each other as leaders, when they gather in a meeting. They ask each other that kind of corporate, relationship. Oh, what is going on? Madam Sirleaf, what is happening? And you know that Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf is somebody who has, whether you like it or not, who has a very close tie with the United States because of some of the things that she did. It was Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf that handed the former President Taylor over. And when she handed Taylor over, we know how much she got. Allen White was there and said, look, we negotiated that thing immediately. She handed, President Taylor over. We gave her that particular money. We gave her that money. So she played a very integral role. The United Nations look at her as somebody who helped to stabilize the African region, because people had this notion, right, quote unquote, however you call it, people had this notion that former President Taylor was a threat to the African region as far as the peace is concerned and the security is concerned. They believe that he influenced so many things, according to their belief, according to what they said, that he had his tentacles spread in other nations. So there was a way that they were looking for to be able to make sure that this man, is turned over. And at the end of the day, Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf was the one that broke that particular camel's back, so to speak, and turning over. We know the turning over ceremony. So to some extent, she is credited. Somebody will say, quote unquote, for quieting down some of the issue or some of the things that was supposed to happen. So she is a stakeholder, not only in Africa, but in the world. And when Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf spoke, and the way she spoke highlighted the various ministries, the various arms of government, it is scary. We are on our own. What was she saying? We are on our own. Basically, she was telling us as Liberians that, look, we have to stand up for ourselves against any dictatorial regime. We will have to speak out as Liberians and stop thinking that people will come to your aid. Start thinking that you go to American embassy, they will come with their marine and say, hey, you start treating your people like this, or they will give President. She is saying that we are on our own. We are on our own because the indicators are there that government have abandoned the people. Now, how do you know that government have abandoned you? This is a government that took over. What was the first thing they decided to do? To start putting down people who had political alignment or who they believe that are attached to a political party. A government came in, instead of stabilizing the place, they came in with noise right away. They start to take an unprecedented measure and disrespect the rule of law. Joseph Newman Boyka run straight to the LTA, move everybody from there, and say, "Y'all move from there. Let me put my own people there." Where did the people go? They ran straight to the Supreme Court. He did not stop there. Joseph Numa Boyka took over. The first place that he went to attack was the Supreme Court, the rule of law. That entity, whether we believe in it, whether we not believe in it, is that particular entity that shows respect or that shows that our country is still intact. What did Joseph Numa Boyka do? The case with Madam Councillor Gloria Mususka. We saw Daniel Sando going to the court horse to Central Prison. Sorry. And telling Madam Gloria Mususka, say, oh, Mama, we sorry. And what did they do? They used every means to twist the arm of the justice system. And Madam Gloria Mususka walked away scot-free. And guess what happened? They gave her a position in the car. Honor Joseph Numa Boyka. Guess what happened to our sister Jessica Lloyd? That girl throat was almost cut by one other guy. Guess what they did? That bucker walked away with impunity, with arm open wide. Up to today, what happened to Jessica? What happened to our rule of law? It shows that we have completely dropped the ball. And people were on tape making arrangements how to receive money. So, Madam Johnson Sirleaf, she talked about the security sector. How will people invest? The first thing investors want to look at is security, whether their investment will be safe. So they will look at the security and ask themselves, do you have security? When they look at security, the next thing that they will want to ask themselves, is the court system okay, or is the is the how you call it, the legislative, are they okay? Because it is that particular branch that will be able to give them a legal paper to operate. It is that branch that will give them a legal paper to operate. It is the security that will protect their investment. It is the legislature that will give them that paper to operate. So, Madam Johnson Sirleaf was able to break down. You know, she spoke volume. She was able to break down her word and saying that the entire country is in a disarray under Joseph Numa Boyka. This is a shame. It's a disgrace. She talked about corruption. She talked about the courage of Liberia. She said courage is the cornerstone of our nation. And I believe that Madam Johnson Sirleaf was speaking to Fonati Kofa and the Liberian people. That Fonati Kofa, he had to stand strong. Don't allow Joseph Numa Boyka to be able to use his will to illegally make you and subdue you to nothing. Madam Johnson Sirleaf was speaking. Now, today, when you see the Supreme Court coming up and telling you that they were listening to the Bill of Information, calling Fonati Kofa, how you call the thing, purported, Rachel Kun, purported speaker, is because the word is not satisfied. Let me just break this information before I go to my brother Jake, and we have the last time to speak on this. And we'll put up the number as we are going through. Anybody that want to call and have your say on it will be able to do that, because we may not have time to open. Rachel Kun, you know that Rachel Kun wanted to meet with the U.S. ambassador and he was denied?
Yes.
He wanted to meet with the U.S. ambassador and they denied. And they're not going to meet with him. The majority blocked Rachel Kun. He wanted to meet with the U.S. ambassador. He said no. They refused him meeting with them. Now, how will a Joseph Numa how you call it, a Rachel Kun, and take him to ECOWAS? The same ECOWAS that spoke against the illegal taking over of power. Remember, ECOWAS said they were not going to do business with how you call Guinea? Remember what they said about Mali? What they said about those other nations? That they totally condemned the way these people took over. All of us can remember, right? But an insult to tell you that Joseph Numa Boyka does not even respect the international community. This man was able to boast of Rachel Kun, an illegal speaker, and carrying before ECOWAS. Was that not an insult? No, my people, let's be fair. Was that not an insult? Joseph Numa Boyka has backed this man. Is that not an insult? Like my brother Frank said, when you look at what is happening, look at how Liberia is being discussed. Is it not shameful to us? A country like Sierra Leone will be talking on Liberia like this. A country like Nigeria, Gambia, and etc. It's a shame to us. And that's the reason why Boyka is not finding his way through. Because they're seeing that this man is disrespecting and breaking all of the laws. So because of that, people are not going to help you. Joseph Numa Boyka is his own demon. My brother Jake, use the next 1 minute 30 seconds. Let's round this up, and let me put the
Yeah,
number
yeah.
up there for people who wants to call. They can definitely call and then have their say, because we may not have the time during the extra time to be able to say people to
Mhm.
call in. Anytime you call in, we give you that opportunity for you to speak. My brother Jake, let's hear from you, sir. Let me put
Yeah,
this number
Prince.
right
Let's be real here. After Keseli of the Unity Party, the person that owned the Unity Party is Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. We all know it. She get heavy stake in that Unity Party, no matter how she retire over. Eh, the Unity Party is Prince is actually divided. They get the block of Ellen, the loyal people of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, like the Kofi Woods, the Samuka, the former chairman, all these guys, Raymond Pay, they see even the Mo Ali, they are all under the umbrella of Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. So they know it, they know the country running in a different direction. To admit Prince, the fact that because you know what the United Party guys won't come out to hear to say something straightforward to the Liberian people because they feared of that job. It was in power for 4 years. So when they will not care, they will speak that man probably when the president sat there, no problem. But they just started government. They just started a new government. So they're looking for that money. They're looking for that money so that why most of them sell it. We all know some of them. Some of them are radical under the they were all part of the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf regime.
Sure.
Why they're not speaking now to say truth to Bwaka? Because why? At first, 1 year plus in a regime. So they cannot jeopardize a salary so that why all of them blacking, but they know the president proceeding the wrong way. And Prince, if you look at it for real, Prince, the Papina in control. Somebody called in this. Prince, how can Baka be in control? The men that were there for vice president, he letting the country to slave for him. Or who put in the screen, who put in the rope in our country, who calling the shot in our country? That what we should ask. That what we should ask. Because nothing working for them. Or the United Party hierarchy, are they waiting for the old men to fail? That's the problem you want to ask also. We got to ask a question. Are they waiting for him to fail? Because they don't have no connection in Europe. They don't have no connection in Europe yet. Probably in America, I don't know, they have connection. They don't have lobbyists. CDC had lobbyists in America during those times. That while George Weah need to go see the former Secretary of State Blinken, Joe Biden, and Tina went to the Oval Office. They don't have appointment, so it's difficult for them. Ellen speaking, that message speak heavy volume. We own our own and preach directly. Our security apparatus is all of them in disarray. The drugs are really engulfed the nation. They're not cracking down on Zumbi, all these drugs. Then they'll say drugs are brought push. It was also propaganda and lies. How can president bring push? They don't have that way out. So now the breaking, as he said, the breaking is all the rules. How can you challenge the Supreme Court, the higher court in the land? If you can challenge the Supreme Court, means that we don't have a country. We don't have, there's a dictatorship. So it's scary for the Liberian people. So if the Liberian people in America, now new president in power, you know what will make it fun for Bwaka and what will make it really beautiful? You know the men are ruling America now. He was witch hunted by the Democrat Party. So he let this kind of thing. He let people to crack down on opposition. So if the Liberian people can take the case to the White House, whatsoever protest, and see how the government govern the country, that President Donald Trump will intervene because he was one of the presidents that the Democrats wish hunted in America. They even attempt on his level, assassination attempt on his left. So he know this kind of thing. He will never allow this kind of situation to happen. So if the Liberian people they want better for that country, they need to start going to the team Congress and they need to go to it and carry heavy video and complain to how the Unity Party proceeding. Probably then they will get a wake-up call. But please, we're in a deep problem.
We are in a deep problem. Thank you so very kindly on concluding on that. My brother, let's hear from you as we conclude on this Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf on, a session about how the system have broken down completely and that Liberians are on their own. Let's hear from you.
Brother Prince, let me say that from the analysis of what the former president said about we be on our own, I would tell you this. Even the African nations, what she's simply trying to say is that the African nation have disengaged with Liberia. Let's be clear about that. You saw John Mahama came to Africa. He stopped right in Africa. When Al-Assad called him to talk to him about he going to the AES nation, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, because we saw the inauguration of John Mahama, where how do you call it? Abraham Touare came over, and he came to represent the AES nation. No other African leaders have been able to call those three leaders for them to come over. But it was John Mahama that did it, and this man came over. In fact, with his own bodyguard. And Al-Assad called John Mahama to talk to him. Because at first, they used Senegal or President Faye to talk to them. But Faye did not make it. So they see the relationship between John Mahama and the three, how they call it, states or the three president of those nations. So they called John Mahama to talk to him. But I can tell you as well, John Mahama will not be able to convene those people. But the issue here is Liberia being one of the founding members of peacemaking body in Africa as a whole. If they can leave Liberia behind and then call in other people, that is a signal to you that Liberia have been neglected at this time because of what is going on. We saw that in ECOWAS, and we're going to see that even in AU when there is another AU meeting. And you saw what ECOWAS was saying. Those leaders that spoke, they said the ECOWAS, or I will just summarize the Constitution, or mandate says that member, how they call it, ECOWAS is not allowed, or even AU is in AU like that, they are not allowed to interfere in member political or economic affairs. That is why you see the line have already been drawn. So when he's saying we are on our own, those nations are not coming because it is clearly stated in AU, in ECOWAS. If you read it, it is stated in ECOWAS, let's say AU 1963, that the entity will not interfere in any member of political
pending.
So now, when you see the president or the court calling for Nati Kofa, it's because all derived from that ECOWAS meeting and also that statement made by former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. That is why Boakai now have taught us why to call for Nati Kofa. But let me say this to Nati Kofa. Now, you can work in the interest of the country. But your God, talking to Rome.
Missing children,
these are the same people who want to be their funds, thousands of dollars to overthrow you. Why did they hold the country for a year plus, and the country is on lockdown? The country is not moving just to remove you, just because ECOWAS has spoken and they have seen that nations have turned their back, even Africa, and then the war at large. Then they want to come to talk to you. Well, they can talk to you, but in the interest of the country, you can work, but be on your guard for these people. That's what I want to say.
Thank you. Thank you so much. My brother, you stress a very serious point. And let me say this. The reason why you see these things are happening and Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf is speaking out is because, like we said, fellow Liberians, you can give us a call. The number is there. Anytime you want to call now, you can call. We give you the opportunity for you to speak. The number is there, 443-991-3356. Also, come in with your comments. We'll highlight your comments. 443-991-3356 is the number to call. Once you call, we're going to get you on. You do not overlook and disrespect ECOWAS, let's say, take on what is happening in your country, especially with Liberia. Because ECOWAS play a very, very pivotal role to reaching us where we are. They were the very first people that step on the ground
Yes.
during our dark days. Before even the UN or whatever could come in, it was ECOWAS that took a decision through Nigeria and said, we will be the first people to put our foot on the ground there, our boot on the ground. So you do not just disrespect them and think that, yeah, I'll be man, I can do anything, I walk away with impunity. No, you don't do it. You don't do it. Because these people, they will block you. And as I speak, there are so many things happening in the ECOWAS region. There are so many things happening while Joseph Numa Boyka is not getting a cent from all of those trips that he has made. Imagine Sierra Leone made trips to some of these international institutions and meetings. They are able to benefit. Sierra Leone, where they had a serious issue in Sierra Leone, they unalive people, where people were peacefully, according to what the president said, he said they were people who were planning to take over the country. But we saw what happened as far as our eyes, can see that people were peacefully protesting and asking for a better life. What happened? The soldier came out, opened fire on these people. But today, it is the Sierra Leone that has become the darling bull. In Liberia, we did not do it. But why is it that when Joseph Numa Boyka go, nobody looking at him? Anytime he goes, say, oh, yeah, we signed the other agreement. They're all MOU. Look, when you disrespect the rule of law, nobody will be able to give you a cent. When they see that you are becoming an embarrassment to democracy, because nobody wants for the African region to be unstable. Nobody. If you see today why the people then taking time with their what man Traore in how you call the place Mali, it's because they don't want anything to spill over. That's why you see they just taking it easy. Some men can say sopeto. They just taking it sopeto with him because they know that when you try in, there will be problem. So nobody wants a kind of tension in Africa right now. We are trying to put Africa together. So if any leader try to disrespect the rule of law, it will not be fun. And that is where Joseph Numa Boyka is going. Fellow Liberians, we are on our own because government does not care about us. We are on our own because even the police that is supposed to provide some sense of security, they are the ones now that are intimidating. They are the ones now that is doing everything to ensure that they strangulate the people. We are on our own, and it is scary, very scary. It is scary. But again, it is what it is. And again, you can call. The number to call is 443-991-3356. Is that number to call? 443-991-3356. Once you call, we're going to give you an opportunity, and you can also have your say, in whatever we are saying. So again, the number to call is 443-991-3356. Give us a call, and you will definitely be heard so that you can add your voice to the many voices. But I want us to talk on the next issue, and then we'll go on our listing to hear what we have there so we can take ample time to observe. And so absorb what you have on your listing there. The Supreme Court of the Republic of Liberia. As you may be aware, when this whole thing started, when Rachel Kuhn, backed by Joseph Numa Boyka, decided to illegally remove Fonati Kofa. Fonati Kofa, believing in the rule of law, somebody who is also a legal person, decided that he will run to the court. He will not be like them to fight, to do this or do that. He said he was going to run to the court. And the court he ran to. When he ran to the court, we all know what happened. The court issued their own ruling on it. And that particular word, became almost like something that people will be using all over the place. To the extent that it was almost like a kind of common word now that our men were using around the place. Antivirus. It was, anyway, going to my medicine is antivirus. Just as it is. But again, the Supreme Court just gave a ruling that people are not even understanding. Like Madam Johnson Sirleaf said, an ambiguous ruling that the common man will not understand. And everybody start to interpret. And the thing that is even more scary, the people who know and who understand the law and knew that the Supreme Court was saying that, look, the thing we are doing is illegal, they decided to play game with it. to the extent the Justice Minister of the Republic of Liberia started to play around it. He interpreted a ruling from the Supreme Court in a wrong way. He knew that what he was doing, it was wrong. And he led the other group to say, oh, the Supreme Court said, no problem, you can go ahead. You continue to act illegal. A good for until Kofa, you own your own. And according to the Justice Minister, the Supreme Court say, you're good to go. Majority people, you go ahead. You take the lead. You can do whatever you want to do. With all this rigmarole, we also heard Judge Yami Gbese speaking about the whole ruling and saying that, these guys were illegal. And we're listening to a member, James Collier, of the Majority Black, insulting an associate justice and say that man, when that man go drink liquor, he can't talk nonsense. They insulted a certain, how you call Supreme Court justice. They insulted him. Somebody who was giving his legal opinion and what they agree upon. We saw members of the Majority Bloc insulting the associate justice to the extent that some of them even said they were going to remove him or they were going to target members of the Supreme Court to impeach them. The Supreme Court now come up. So Fonati Kofa sent another communication and said, look, y'all explain to us what you guys mean. The whole thing here is looking confusing. The other people interpreting it the other way. We are interpreting it the right way. So you tell us what is right. So the Supreme Court, in their case or in their assignment or in the communication that they send, refer to Richard Kuhn as a purported speaker, and they have given up to the 14th, I think the 14th of this month, to be able to come down with, their own, whether it be a clarity or whatever we call it, to explain better to the Liberian people or to give a ruling relative to what they meant about this ultra virus and, whatever, so they can come up with something clear. While the Supreme Court is coming up with something clear, Joseph Numa Boyka ran and called for Nati Kofa and said, let's sit down. Let's see how bad we can be able to handle it here. My brother Jake, I want to start from you. What is going on? Is it that the Supreme Court is trying to redeem herself? Or is it that, they are afraid the way other people saying, oh, they come and impeach them and they come and do this? What is going on? Is it that they are receiving worse? Or they are not, their decisions are not being welcomed by the international? Is it that other international partners are not satisfied with them? My brother Jake, let's hear from you, sir.
Yeah, Prince, I'm not a lawyer, but it's just a common sense. Sorry to say, but Prince, we don't have, the Supreme Court don't have now, they don't have credibility. Or let's call it spade or space. They don't have actual credibility no more. They that said the highest court in this area, they acting like they never go to they never, nobody can move as long you're on that bench, nobody allowed to move you probably until you die or you resign. That the same thing going on. I think that the same law in America, if you're not mistaken, nobody have the right to move you because a separate branch of government. You don't interfere in the other people, but the executive branch, worker get hold of the Supreme Court. That's why we can remember the delay, that salary, everything, the Unity Party contention try to set in their own impeachment and other things. I don't know if in the 1986 Constitution. I don't really know. I don't really get idea on our Constitution concerning the Supreme Court. But the only thing I know, you either resign or probably you die. Then they replace you. Then the president try to select new person. But if you look at what's going on in the country, from the initial stage when workers start to break all the rule of law, the 10 position that were established by the Unity Party on Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and Buaka, George Weah kept that 10 position. Everybody was in that position. But when they came back to power, they decided to move people. So the former president, he didn't say it in one of his statements. You're breaking your own law that you're broke. So, the Supreme Court should have stood hard, strong, And to Boyka, he said, you're wrong. You will never dismiss this because it's a law by the legislature. But they accepted it. And they start firing people up and down. So for me, the Supreme Court not credible to me. Yeah, there's the highest court in our land. But if the president get hold of that Supreme Court, he controlling them. So anything that comes from them, any judgment, let's wait until the 14th. If they will rule in favor of Fanatic Kofa in the group of people, then we'll see. But let me say this today, Prince. If this was happening on George Weah, Prince, the countries they had too much hatred for the former president. If this was happening on George Weah, you will see the whole University of Liberia, the soup, like all the radical from the University of Liberia that was stopping Vice President into they will descend on that Capitol building in the numbers for protest for days and days. But because why? Let me tell you, Prince, the election, most of them, they sided with the Unity Party. That's why you see today, because they want that job. All of them want that job. That's the EFLL, the Economic Freedom Fighter, all these guys from the University of Liberia, they soup all of them. In our George Weah, they will descend on that country. It will be one of them. It will be like 4 or 5 day protest until they put it in order. But because you got a high hatred for the president, but see they get a zombie in the country. They can't say nothing. They're afraid because you know what? I told people the United Party is a party of violence. They know it. They know that game they were playing when they were in opposition. All the protests that were having in the country, they were staring all that protests today. Georgia had the highest protest in the history of our nation. In any presidency, any president that came to power, he had the highest protest. They even wanted to dethrone the president. Even Darrell Dillon said they would drag the president, they would gather all that video circulating around the social media. So I don't trust the Supreme Court anymore. Yes, then calling spade or spade. For me, the president gets serious stake in the Supreme Court. Now why they're not strong anymore.
Thank you so much, my brother. Let's hear from our brother Frank. My brother Frank, the Supreme Court, I don't know what is happening. Whether they've realized their mistake, whether they are threatening or what, I don't know. But let's hear from you, my brother. What is going on?
Yeah, let me say this before I even come to the Supreme Court. To the Speaker for Nati Kofa. Like Michael Jackson said, you can kick me, drag me. I will say it, they don't care about us. For Nati Kofa, this is what I'm going to tell you tonight. If you are listening or if you're listening today, or somebody will take the message to you. These guys have dragged you. These guys have kicked you. They have slapped you. They have tried to make you shame. They have tried to humiliate you. But you stood your ground. Because that ground is your ground. Because that ground is the ground of a nation that you love. And you did not want anyone to hijack that nation for their own personal benefit. And you took the burden of Liberian on your back for months, for almost a year. And you've been going with it. Now, victory is yours. And victory is this time. Now, the people that have been supporting you, victory is them. It's there. And what I will tell you is, do not make those people, those supporters of yours, shame. Do not go to the Supreme Court if you are being called on a side. Do not go to boycott if you are being called on a side. If you go there, do not accept any bargaining. If you go there, do not accept anything that will tell you that, you know what, they don't forget about what happened, that the country move on, so that we can, what they call the country, and go and do this. Now, a man that will say, I will dance with the devil to do anything will always be a devil, no matter what. They will always have a hidden agenda. They will always backstab you. Now, the time has come. The world have seen them that they have been neglected and their government have been isolated. If I were you, Fonatikofa, and I know you will be me, let the so-called Supreme Court that have been manipulated by the so-called government, let them defend themselves. Do not go up there and defend the Supreme Court to say, you know what, all happened. The country got to move on. We got to do the Liberian people work. No, let the Supreme Court do the Liberian people work. Let the Supreme Court take effort to where effort came from. And let Bwaka tell the Liberian people and the world at large that he has failed the Liberian people. He misled the Liberian people. Do not go in to take their cross. Let them take their cross to come out to defend or to tell the Liberian people and the world what they did. They know nothing about government. They manipulated the constitution. They manipulated the rule of law. They manipulated the constitution, or they manipulated the court system in the country. And the court system or the law sat down there, they allow it. So this time around, are they coming to you for you to go fix them, to come and be a speaker for them, to speak to the Liberian people that, you know what, we got to move on? Don't do that. Let them come to the Liberian people and tell the Liberian people, first of all, why did they decide to do what they did? That's what I got to say.
Thank you so much, my brother. Thank you so much on this. Let me say this. You know, our people have this parable, and it's very serious. They say, if you can't hear, you can feel. If you can't hear, somebody tell you, oh, my man, behave. You say, no, you not behave. If you can't hear, you can feel. And this is what's happening now to Boyka and his people. Mr. Boyka has refused to hear. The majority bloc, illegal majority bloc, they've refused to hear word. The Supreme Court has refused to hear. So right now, they are coming to see how best they can amend. Let me tell you something, my people. Sanction is on its way. Sanction is on its way. I know that it's going to take time, but sanction is on its way. In America, we are afraid of. Small thing, oh, America. In America, we are afraid of. Yes, America, we are afraid of. Sanction is on its way. Joseph Numa Boyka has been blocked from all indication. And I'm going to say this to you. Augustine Pehe Gafwan, maybe some of you don't know. Let me just disclose this to you. Augustine Pehe Gafwan is not satisfied with what is happening in the country with the economy. Most of the institutions that are supposed to be contributing money to the coffers or to the national budget, they have refused to contribute. Or in other words, they are contributing insufficient money. They are raising enough money and they are contributing little. Instead of contributing towards the national budget, guess where these people are contributing? To Joseph Numa Boyka Foundation. Gafwan is not happy. The people at the finance ministry, they are not excited. They are not excited. Instead of taking the money and giving it to the budget, for example, the free port of Monrovia. Do you know that the free port of Monrovia, they did not even give the portion that they raised? No, they did not give it. They did not. Most of these state-owned entities that are supposed to, these autonomous, entities that are supposed to give money to the, the government, to contribute towards the budget. They are not giving. It's becoming very difficult. Gafon had a meeting with some of these entities that are supposed to contribute towards the budget. Look, I'm telling you, if we are not careful, this 2025 budget, we may not be able to achieve anything from it. There will be a budget shortfall. Mark this that I am saying today. There is going to be a budget shortfall because all of these guys, they are not taking money to give it to the budget that they are supposed to. They are raising the money, but to give the money, they don't want to give it. They prefer taking money and giving it to Joseph Newman Boyka Foundation, and at the end of the day, they think they are good. Nothing will come from other. Once you get Joseph Newman Boyka contribute small towards the budget, they are good. They are okay. And this is scary. People are not talking about this, but it is scary. And that's why we are giving you this information right here on this platform. It is scary. Why is it that these people are not contributing to the budget, but instead contributing towards Joseph Newman Boyka Foundation? Why? Why is it? Gafon calling them, having meeting with them, it's yielding no result at all. It's showing nothing. They don't even get time for that thing. They even get time because they believe that once they give to the foundation of Joseph Newman Boyka, they will be protected by him. This is scary. It is scary. And we're sitting and think that all is well, all is okay. No, all is not well, all is not okay. The reason why you see the Supreme Court doing what they are doing, look, these people want to save their face. Look, the people do not have trust again in the system. Liberians are losing interest in their own system. I'm telling you this. Liberians are losing interest in their system. They do not trust the system no more. You talk about the justice system, the people are losing interest in the justice system. You talk about the security sector, the people are losing confidence and trust in the security sector. For the lawmakers part, just forget it. The people say they wanted their social role criminals. They wouldn't care about themselves. And it is terrible for you to have people losing confidence in the system. It is terrible. For me, I will say this, like my brother said, Honorable Fonati Kofa, a snake is not a pet. I repeat, a snake is not a pet. The last thing that anybody can do is to put their trust or to trust this man called Joseph Newman Boyka. That's the last thing anybody can do. The last thing anybody can ever do is to trust Mr. Boyka. Mr. Boyka can never and ever be trusted. Never trust that man. Never trust him. The agenda of Mr. Boyka is to subdue every other person for his interest and his benefit. Never trust him. Trusting Joseph Newman Boyka is like trusting yourself swallowing a glass bottle, which you know will end up to be very fatal on you. Be careful with Joseph Newman Boyka. All that he is doing because he see that he has so much disrespected the rule of law. Nobody now he's not getting anything from others. Nothing good he's getting. People who are supposed to help are saying that we can help, even though they're not saying it openly. But you cannot keep disrespecting the court and think that people will come to your aid. No, you cannot keep leading like this. You are too old to be behaving like a gangster. And you think that people will sit down and look at you? That is greediness. You want to have every other branch under your control. It doesn't work that way. Liberians, brace yourself, because you know what happened? Since the people can raise the money through these entities that are supposed to contribute towards the budget, they're coming to you. The people coming to you. They want force money out of you. They want squeeze water out of rock. They're coming to you. They're coming to you, the poor people. You were selling your lay willow market on the side. They're coming to you in the name of you got to pay tax. They're coming to you. They are coming to you. Supreme Court, I don't know if this is going to redeem you. I don't know if this is what you're going to use to redeem yourself. But the Liberian people don't trust you because of the way you have proceeded. The way you have allowed yourself to be strong. To the extent that they Supreme, at one time, in fact, they were crying. I remember 2024, the money that's all getting, ain't getting the money, they were crying. Say, he get the money, will not be easy, yo. And nothing will happen. We're not going to go, we're not open cohorts. Joseph Numa Boyka subdued them to nothing. My people, Liberia is gradually turning into a Janjaweed republic. We are already into it. I want to start from my brother Frank. My brother Frank, you have a couple of things on your list. I want you to use the next 3 minutes. Let's hear from you and absorb what you have on your listing there. Again, fellow Liberians, the number to call is 443-991-3356. You see the number right down there. 443-991-3356 is that number to call. Give us a call and let's hear from you. Give us a call and let's hear from you. 443-991-3356 is the number to call. Let's hear from you. My brother Frank, let's start from you. What you have on your listing, let's hear from you, sir.
Yeah, we already talked about one about ECWA, but the next thing that what I have here is I heard there's a petition going around from the regime government that they want to they are trying to sign a petition and then send to the court to remove Representative Yeke Kolba because of his utterances, his behavior in the country. You see, these are the same thing that we said during the past administration. What Yeke Kolba is doing, is it different? And this goes to the regime government. What Yeke Kolba is doing, is it different from what he did during the past administration? When Yeke Kolba was seen as the hero, when the same regime government today, but a lot of opposition, they said they need about 10 to 15 of Yeke Kolba in the house. And they said Yeke Kolba was doing the right thing. Yeke Kolba was the only speaker, was the only representative in the country that they trust or they trusted. When they said Yeke Kolba was the voice of the voiceless, when Yeke Kolba was running over car, jumping over car in short trousers, going to the government building in short trousers as a government worker, as a representative, they appreciated those days when Yeke Kolba said he was doing what he's supposed to do. When Yeke Kolba took soup and put them on the street, and when soup said they will stone the president, convoy, when soup denied even the vice president at that time to go on the university campus, when Yeke Kolba they supported soup, when government official they saw as CDC supporter or CDC government official could not go to the UA campus, could not even freely move in the country, when they supported Yeke Kolba at that time, Yeke Kolba even did worse in the past administration than this current administration. So what are they seeing Yeke Kolba doing now that they want to sign a petition to remove Yeke Kolba? Look, what I want to say here is these people should stop playing phone. They will never remove Yeke. Yeke will never be removed, even though they have manipulated the Supreme Court. But I don't care how they can sign a petition up to 5 million, 6 million, the population that we don't even have, right? Or the speaker or representative that they don't have. You can even have a 6 million speaker signature. You will not remove Yeke. Yeke will not be removed. And if you try, that's the time you will see the Liberian people. Because I think that will be the end of the quote. The same way Yeke Kolba was hero yesterday, Yeke Kolba is hero today. The same way Yeke Kolba was voice of the voiceless yesterday, today Yeke Kolba is the voice of the voiceless. The same way Yeke Kolba, you needed 15 or 10 or 15 of Yeke Kolba in a house. Today, we need about 25 to 30 of Yeke Kolba in a house. Yeke Kolba is doing the right thing that he did it yesterday. Today, he's doing the same right thing in this government, exposing the government. Yesterday, Yega Koba was known as exposing the government. Today, he's also known as exposing the government. If yesterday Yega Koba was the neutral person in the government, today Yega Koba is the neutral person in the government who want betterment for the Liberian people. Who didn't like good thing? Yesterday, you said who don't like better thing. Today, we say the same thing. Who don't like better thing? Yega Koba will not be removed. You start playing phone. You meet your prince.
I'm sorry. My brother Jake, what do you have on your listing that you want us to, absorb? Let's hear from you, sir.
Yeah, not too much, but listen. For me, I love for my country to win. And Prince, your CDC government, your former CDC government, and I'm a personal question to the president, but I will say something here tonight, probably will run some people fellow. I was a whistleblower. I was a positive whistleblower for money when we're living in Europe here for the government. I blew a lot of whistle. They make millions, the CDC government made millions of dollars. Fast I'm saying here, they never compensated me. Today, Joe Weah still owe me compensation. And anybody can carry the video to him, they still owe me. I see a whistleblower for my country because I want for my country to win. I want trying to say something here. I'm a whistleblower for my country. I want for my country to make money. So let me get the Unity Party free gift first. Anytime I had three whistle to blow for the former president, but because they treated me ugly, so I kept it to myself. But I will still blow that whistle because I know where millions of dollars, facts here, where millions of dollars sitting down. I blew whistle for the former president. I'm going to go ask Sandra D2, Nathaniel McGay at the Jamaican Resort. They made millions of dollars. Today, they never compensated me. I never brought it to the president. Oh, this time, I will blow whistle to the Unity Party. That same whistle for the CDC government, I will transfer it to them. Let me say something to the Unity Party who are struggling for money. Let me say that today. Let me get them free gift before maybe one day in the future I will blow the whistle to them. Especially, let me talk to Jeremiah Kuhn. If anybody can get a video to Jeremiah Kuhn, I'm getting them free, schooling in or giving them free gift. Please, the greatest, one of our greatest assets in the country, where everybody say like we're a rich nation, is our iron ore. A solid meter running the iron ore. Please, in a year, few years from now, they're coming for renewal, to renew that contract. I live in Europe here. I asked Jeremiah Kuhn, president of the Senate, vice president of the Republic of Liberia, Mr. Jeremiah Kuhn, please, if nobody sharing the video, nobody send the video to you, I pray that the United Party people that are here, they must send a particular clip to you. You will never renew a salary meter or meter steel contract, no matter what they do. The money they sign that contract with, our chicken change. Let me say something here tonight to the Unity Party people. As I'm a whistleblower, I'm living right near them here. They're from Luxembourg. The company, a salary meter worth $100 billion. Prince with a B. Anybody, I said they worth $100 billion with a B. The CEO, Mr. Mita, is said personally, he worth over $100 million. So that agreement is signed. I think that Honor Julius Bryan, I think so. It was a chicken change. I even told the former president, if you're going to win an election, they shouldn't renew Mita Steel. Mita Steel, I know everything. I get documents on them. One time Jeremiah Kuhn said they cannot take Mita Steel to court. Who told you so you can take Mita Steel to court? They've been sued all around Europe here. One of the Mita Steel brother was arrested in the buckets for fraud. Facts here. Facts. I get paper on them. So I'm asking the United Party people, if they come for renewal, you don't renew them. you shouldn't revisit that contract. You must revisit that. The country will not pressure you. They must shouldn't pressure you. You can do something called a bailing, getting your free gate. They can do something called a bailing war, the bailing trade war. What different? If they're not doing it, I can bring a company in. I can bring a stable company in that I know. I was going to take to George Weah. I can bring it to the Unity Party. Then the Metasy can do a bailing war. The highest stake, then the Liberian people can sign that contract. The iron ore is our greatest reserve. So that millions of dollars, I think they signed $500 million contract with our country. It's a chicken change in a bucket. So Mr. Vice President, the Unity Party contention, the surrogate of the Unity Party, are saying yet to now, you shouldn't renew that contract. It's a feature, like iron ore is a feature for the youth of the country. If you want to go to building war, it's a chicken change. The company worth $100 billion, and you're saying you take our natural, give it to them. At least when they can come, when they can go to a negotiating table, it's a trade war. They can take contract, and you shouldn't sign 25 more year contract. Nobody should sign 25-year contract with no company in that country. The highest should be 10. You probably can go renew. At least would need $1.some billion contract. That's the only way you should accept, and you should reassess all the agreement, because our people in Nima County, our people in Basso, they live in the bad condition. They live in serious bad condition. The senator for Nima County, all the coca then are fighting for power. All these guys. What wrong with Nyomli Kankane? They're from Grand Basso. We need a better deal for Meta Steel, or else you should table them, or else I can show you 3 different companies that you can take bidding war with them. Then they Meta Steel can fight that bidding war. You shouldn't take our natural resources and renew them for chicken change. Meta Steel need to live for that game. If they want to man our natural resources, they got to step on that game. The money they gave in Liberia for chicken change. I just put in it also there for the Unity Party. And Prince, to close here, but what I want to say is down to CDC, Prince. The by-election are becoming Nima County. Prince, your hierarchy of the CDC in America there. Tell your CDC party. I heard about either Gongo where going to meet Jeremiah Kun. She want to challenge coca in Nima County. If the CDC don't have nobody to support, nobody, no candidate from Nima County within the CDC to put in that race, I want for the CDC contention to put all our egg in one basket to go campaign and put somebody in that race, or else probably they can support either Gongo Red instead of coca. If they can surround, if they got somebody from Nima County within CDC, the president, it's a test. It's a test. The Godfather died, or the Godfather is not living anymore. So Georgia did a lot of work for the Liberian people. But we know how the election went ugly. But so this time, in a by-election, the upcoming by-election in Nima County, CDC got to put in a candidate, or if they don't get put in a perfect candidate, they can support either Gongo Wule, because either supported CDC in the second round of that election. I saw endorsing in George Weah. So if to stop coca from winning in Nima County, because he's a proclaim, he called himself the Godfather. And Prince, I will ask you here tonight. Probably you get ear of the president. If the president get a man, I want for George Weah to release the audio between him and Prince Johnson. Prince Johnson wanted to meet him on a Saturday, and Prince Johnson died before he could meet the president that week. I want for the president to release that audio, for the Liberian people, to know why Prince Johnson called the former president to meet with him on a Saturday. Then I think probably Tuesday or Wednesday that how he passed away in that same week. So I would like for the president to know, because the by-election coming on in Nima County, probably it could help the CDC, because I know the president have the audio on that, the audio between him and Prince Johnson. So if the president can release that audio, because President Johnson wanted to meet the president on a Saturday. Everything was set for Saturday until he passed away. So, the CDC party, if they believe they can come back from 2029, they had to put somebody, they had to take Nima County, they had to do something in Nima County for the former senator position. They need to, and the whole hierarchy of CDC need to campaign to really know if Nima went different or they cheated in Nima County. That's what I have to say.
Thank you. I want to begin mine with this video. You know, it's very disturbing. One of the things these people were running away, I believe, when they
Oh
were in
yeah,
office,
they thing went viral.
was the issue of how, you know, the dirt was taking over Monrovia.
Yes.
They, because of the pressing situation, you know, let me tell you something. People can only have the time to look at these things, and maybe, you know, their stomach food. Like somebody was telling me, they pray. You know why the people used to be passing around with camera when they see there on this side? He said, oh, you see there, yeah, you see there. I said, no. He said, the people, President Weah made the rest cheap. At least one way or the other, somebody know before they go to bed, they will buy someone and one cup of red, they will eat. But he said, you see why you are not seeing these kind of terrible things that ain't becoming national issue is because people hungry. Who will be hungry looking for something to eat? Then they pass it around with cell phone. There you, there you. Because that energy that you're supposed to use to take it to put it in your phone and say you're passing around identifying there, you can use that money or that energy to save and go and eat something, at least to get something in your system. But fellow Liberian, I want you to look at this. Diet is now taking over Monrovia. Remember these
Mm-hmm.
people? It was their number one campaign. It was also part of their
Yeah.
campaign strategy. When they pass around,
Yeah.
oh, there you go, oh, there you go, oh, down this out, down this out. Look at what is happening. The last time we saw a picture of the Unity Party using what we call waste truck. They truck then that can carry the waste, human being feces, to call fire off. Today, look at what is happening. I will play you this video. Filth is taking all over the place. While you get one other one that come with same attire, then passing around with duffel, wearing different things, and not taking it. Look at what is happening. The feces are taking over the entire Moravia Street. Look at what is happening. You see them? These are people that said if they got elected, they will come and they will change people's life. Look at what is happening. These are the people that say, yeah, you know, we can make it, we can make it big, we get this thing under control, we can do it. Look at what is happening here. Look at what is happening. See what is happening? These people lied to you and myself. They made us to understand that they have the ability to change people's life. That, oh, they can do it. This thing, yeah, no, forget it. They are in full control. They can make it. Look at what is happening here. Look at what is happening here. Debt is now taking over the place. Money that is intended for them to use to clean the city. Your man, how you call him, a CFA, taking some of the money, giving it to JMB Foundation, the balance one, they're taking it and putting it in their pocket. This is scary. Very, very scary. Very, very scary. But again, fellow Liberians, the number to call here is 443-991-3356. Like we said, 2 hours
Yeah.
we will be here for.
Yeah.
And if we go above 2 hours, that will be 2 hours, 30 minutes. But whenever we discuss what we have on our list, that would be. So again, we want to open the line for those of you who are listening and those of you that may want to call. The number is right here, 443-991-3356. Give us a call and let's hear from you on those things that we've discussed. If you think that you have something else that you want to say, you know, you want to add something, that's good. You can add whatever you want to add. If not, your comment, fine, will be very good. So let's go to the comment section. Maybe we'll try to read some of the comments. Let's go to the comment section. I want to welcome our own brother Eric Pevis. Thank you so much for joining us. Vivian Numade Yanse, we appreciate you. Otaka, thank you so much for joining us. Yvonne David, We appreciate you, Rising Sun. Thank you so very kindly. Uh, Augustine, thank you so much. Zach Bayou, thank you so much. We appreciate all of you. So you can give us a call and let's hear from you. The number to call is pinned right there. Let's go to the comment. There's a comment from Jackson McGill. Say, Jackson McGill, I'm watching from Pennsylvania. Yeah, Weaver Street. Oh, you are welcome. Then we get John Davis. He will say, Paulo, who say watching. Okay, where he's watching from. Buema, thank you so much. He said following. Uh, Okay, we have our sister Hawatote. Okay, she's here with us. All right, so my brother Frank, let's go to you as you gave us your closing comment while we await our calls. All right, we have the caller on the line here. We have our caller here, our very first caller. That is our own brother, Eric Purvis. He is an activist and the owner of the Diaspora Allied. My brother Eric Purvis, welcome, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Sharif. It's always an honor to be on your platform, and I'm glad tonight, as always. Just to remind me what's the key conversation? Do I listen to the guest, or if I may say, or your co-host? I'm not sure
Basically,
yet.
we're
Okay.
just talking on Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf's statement, that she made in the conference with well-respected women in Africa, the statement that she made that we're on our own, highlighting how there is a total breakdown from the security sector to, the legislative branch of government and to that of the judiciary. So we highlighted that. And we also talk about, the communication from the Supreme Court. But whatever you have on your mind that you think is important that the audience can also buy in, you can go ahead, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Look, Mr. Sharif, honestly, we really don't need Madam Salif or any international body to tell us the, the meltdown of our democracy and our rule of law under the Joseph Boakai led government in our country. Our country is collapsing. In fact, somebody said, I shouldn't say that it's collapsing, I should say our country has collapsed because the lawlessness that's in the country, we have never experienced it. Even during the 1990 war, we still have some semblance of leadership in terms of governance structure of our country as compared to what we have now. Okay, so Manatali, yeah, we've highlighting that, it's just further strengthening, what is already pervasive in our country, or it further highlights what it was already in our country. But even the average man is feeling the pinch of take for example the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court came up with an opinion about the legislative impasse, to be exact, at the lower house or the House of Representatives. And the Joseph Boakai led government refused to listen to the Supreme Court opinion, and they decided to back a renegade who himself, he called himself the redeemed speaker. The Supreme Court issued a statement of reason, calling him purported speaker. We expect the ruling to come on the 14th of this month. Getting reports that Joe Parker is already um, making some late meaning calls. He's trying to make amends. He wants to, cover his shame or his track, which is already belated. Excuse me. He has shown himself to be a lawless president. If Liberia, was in a serious country, there should have been an impeachment already, on the floor for Mr. Boyer, because I'm not sure if there exists any constitutional provision that Joe Boyer has not violated. This man has willfully violated every aspect of our constitution.
But do you
Okay,
see this as a
disrespecting.
genuine, if I may ask, do you see this as a genuine, one would say maybe, repentance on the part of Mr. Boyka after realizing that, look, he tried everything that he could do, use money to induce other people or use his will or whatever to ensure that, Fonati Kofa is subdued and that everything has failed. Now, do you see this as a genuine repentance that he has come to say, look, everything has failed. So let me just, give in and let's move on. Do you see this as a genuine repentance, or you think he has been forced by others, or maybe circumstances or situation around forced him to do what he's doing? What do you think?
No, it is not genuine repentance. Mr. Brother is soulless character. I must say that we and independent folks even have problem with Speaker Fanatic Kofa for the way in which he was aligning himself with Mr. Take for example, at one point in time he publicly defended Mr. Bwaka reckless traveling out of the country.
Sure.
Right? He even went with Mr. Bwaka in Rome, Italy. While they were in Italy together, meeting the Pope and fighting for the country, Mr. Bwaka was more concerned about undermining. He airlifted Fonati from Liberia, took him to Rome, Italy. While the man was there, he launched a coup to illegally remove the man. While the man was there defending him, even we who, have come from the independent perspective and people from the political perspective, were even bashing Fonati for defending Mr. Bwaka useless travel. Mr. Bwaka was concerned about undermining Fonati, the man who was even standing for him. That tells you that this man is soulless. There's no remorse here, that he has. He's only bowing down now because the international community has refused to recognize. Look, take for example, the ECOWAS Parliament. The ECOWAS Parliament is clear. They recognize Fonati Kofa as the speaker, the constitutionally elected speaker of our country. Okay, this man was elected by his colleagues. He has not been removed. He has not been impeached. He has not been suspended. But yet, President Joe Bwaka, in his lack of wisdom, said he does not recognize the man. He recognizes Richard Cole, a hardcore criminal who is, even his nationality is even in dispute. We're not sure whether he's a Nigerian, he's a Liberian or an American. We still don't back his nationality. This is the man that Joe Parker has recognized. And because the international community has refused to sit under the government, take for example, the Supreme Court did not subject themselves to Richard Kuhn Jabo during the State of Nation address. That was a firm commitment based upon their previous opinion that this man is not a speaker, right? So the writings are on the wall that the Supreme Court will reaffirm the initial opinion that Richard Cole is not a speaker. Now that Walker will be faced with this double blow, he has no option now but to come and act like he wants reconciliation. He doesn't. He's a soulless character.
Thank you.
It is a disgrace.
Thank you.
It is a disgrace. Yeah, and just before I leave, take for example the latest report on Hong in our country. We have dropped below, like we are fighting war in our country, that our people are dropping further into pervasive poverty and hunger. If you look at the SDGs, the first two goals of the SDGs, which is the Sustainable Development Goals, they talk about ending hunger, fighting poverty.
Sure.
We have failed miserably only Joe Biden 1 year. More Liberia now are in poverty. We were, Liberia were living on $1 before Joe Biden. Now we are living on 50 cents. Yes. What kind of our women are crushing rocks to survive? How can you treat the country like this? There's a man who people brag about with 43 years of governmental experience and all that kind of stuff. How can you treat our country like this?
Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so very kindly. I think we need to have a time so we can bring you on again, fellow Liberians. You are listening to our brother Eric Pevis. He runs the Diaspora Allied. He is, the director there for that particular diaspora, information armed. he put out so many credible information relative to what is happening. So, my brother Eric, I want to say thank you so much. We'll talk behind the scene and have a time so that you can grace the show as a guest. Thank you so much for your contribution.
I appreciate Brother Sharif, and thank you so much for educating our people. You're doing a very great job. Do not bow down. A lot of people look to you for informative information. Don't get weary along the way. Keep doing it, and our country will get better. I'm not citing our country will get better under the current. That's a sad part of it.
Thank you. Thank you so very kindly. Our country will get better, but do not expect it to get better under this mess that we find ourselves in. Thank you. Let's go to our brother Frank as he closes up from his end. My brother Frank, it's over to you, sir. Let's get your closing.
Thank you so much, Brother Prince. Before I even, I just want to re-emphasize on closing my statement with the speaker, Kofa. This is what I'm going to tell you again. I have said it, but I'm going to repeat myself again. You know, the African proverbs say, never refuse call, but what is in a call is what you should refuse. Now, Mr. Kofa or Speaker Kofa, the so-called president call you, don't refuse it, go there. The so-called, how they call it, justice system or court call you, don't refuse it, go there, but refuse what is in the call. And for me, I believe if there is anything in our call to tell you, say, you know what, that bygone be bygone, let us move on, and so that the country can go and think that it will use you now to come to the Liberian people. Don't do that. What we want here is let the regime government or speaker come to the Liberian people to tell the Liberian people why they wanted to remove you, why they put in thousands of dollars to bribe people to remove you, why the court system did not swiftly recognize and says this man cannot be removed because this man was constitutionally elected. Why the Constitution kept silent until Ekwa can speak, until Madam Johnson Sirleaf can speak, until the war can neglect Liberia. And then that's the time they want to come out. No, Mr. Speaker, because they have humiliated you so long. You have cried. You have cried a cry that even though we did not see tears, but you cried so many days in your room, in your closet, with your family, with your children. Today, they should not come to you to tell you, let bagon be bagon. Those are all days wars. No, we want to know why they wanted to remove you. And also, if you know, we know you have nothing in healing. Let them bring the evidence against you that they said you were not a general speaker, because for that they want to remove you. You have stood your ground, and let them come out with the evidence to the Liberian people of why they want to remove you or why they wanted to remove you. And that's what we want to see, and that's what I believe you want to see. Do not go and do any closed door talk or beyond closed door, like Yaka Koruba said. If anybody try to talk to you beyond closed door, he will expose you. And that we are with Yaka Koruba. Let these people come and tell the Liberian people why they wanted to remove you, why they slept to the hotel for so many days, using the Liberian people money to sleep to hotels and sleeping with underage girls. Let them come and tell us. Do not say anything beyond closed door. You have won a battle, and do not speak for nobody. You have won a battle. We have won our battle. It is our time to disgrace them. That's it.
Let's hear from our brother Jake. Thank you so very kindly. My brother Jake, let's hear your closing, sir.
Yeah, great. Thank you for the show. I'm closing not too much. Let me say something to the Unity Party. Prince, I told you I was a whistleblower for George Weah. I mean what I'm saying. I live in the women world. I told the former president before, but he never listened to me. When he's Prince, I admit, Georgia was traveling a lot in Qatar, in all the places in Europe. But as a president, you got to get appointment. Let me tell something to the Unity Party. If somebody hearing it from the Unity Party, the broker or the foreign minister in control, Mr. President, for the sake of our country, Some of all your ambassadors around the world are living. I know what I'm saying. These are the people who wanted the failure on George Weah. I used to tell the president, I said, someone then and ask them question because these people taking taxpayer money. They're not doing nothing in the interest of the country. So, Mr. President, Mr. Joseph Yiman Boaka, the vice president, the hierarchy of the Unity Party, if they can link their video to you, some of all the ambassadors around the world, let them come for a retreat back to the capital city, Monrovia, and ask their question, how long they been in that position, where their contribution. And I'm asking the Unity Party, it's time. If you want to make money, if you want for the country to make money, because Boaga finished saying now he will not travel a lot. He will not travel a lot because they probably the strength trying to fill in. Mr. President, set up a special envoy in the Middle East, in Europe, in the United States, in some other in South America. Set up a special envoy. That's my suggestion to y'all. They will oversee a lot of things for you. If you want someone else to help you, will help you. We can be on our team. Set up. We need money in our country. Let me remind the Unity Party. When I hear about money, anywhere I hear about money, I'll leak it to government because I'm at work. That my contribution. Millions of dollars hiding. I will blow that whistle to the president. Listen, Prince, something happened in America today. I saw 2 African presidents from Botswana and other countries. They went to the new Secretary of State under Donald Trump, Rubio, the Secretary of State. You know why they went there? Follow the whole story. Don't I support the Republican Party. I let Donald Trump. They went for the USA money. The president from Botswana met Marco Rubio at the State House, the Secretary of State House in America. They want to talk about the USA money. They have billions of dollars that uses that China pours on all around the world. And not only affect Liberia, affect a lot of countries. So these guys set up, they set up lobbyists. They have their lobbyists. They have involved. They have a lot of involved. And the president, then the United Party people can say they have connection. What kind of connection you get? $51 million. It's a big money to us now to solve some medical problems. So I asking the United Party, you set up a team. Just set up a team to go meet Marco Rubio to question and say, listen, the aid, we need aid. Probably they will reconcile you. They're trying to reconcile a lot of people, a lot of countries now in the African, especially our vulnerable African region. So I ask the Unity Party people, it's time the big mouth they get, it's time for them to set up special squad to go after this kind of money there, and they should have involved in the Middle East, in Europe, in all part of the world, and they should they must summon all the ambassadors around the world. The ambassador have been there for more than 20 more years. I don't call special ambassador in India. I know most of them threatened by me. Joe time, they were threatened by me. They threatened me all in Europe here. They were threatened by me because I went for the president to someone. Then they've been there for many, many years. They never contributed nothing to our country. They only taking taxpayer money. So I'm asking the Boaca government to summon them back to the nation capital to ask them questions that we have to see. Thank you.
Thank you so very kindly, my brother. Thank you so very well. Again, we want to say to each and every one of you, we want to thank you so very kindly for giving us an opportunity and for being with us here. We want to thank you. Again, we urge that you follow us on Facebook, on YouTube, follow us even on X. We appeal to you that you follow us. I want to end with this. You see, sometimes I ask whether Joseph Numa Boaca is indeed, what are this man? I don't know, but somebody will say whether he's a Liberian. Because one thing I know, despite of all the difficulties that we find ourselves in, Liberians, we are hospitable people. Even during the war, when the war was fighting, there are people who used to leave from those who went to other refugee camps, in Africa and other parts of the world. People will leave, people who are citizens will leave from their homes and go to the Liberian refugee camp and stay there and get something from there. If a Liberian is somewhere, you will know, because we are just kind of free-handed people, we are so open. Forget about our talking plenty. But one thing I know is that when Liberian men get money, everybody in the whole world will know, or in that particular area will know. You will know that men get money, because we are people who are very hospitable. We can share. We are people who don't hold by ourselves. But when you listen to Brecker, and when we get it, look, people around us, once Liberian men get money, you get small thing, you will see he will always be surrounded by people. It's not that he's, maybe he want to boast, but people will always come around him because he's somebody who can share. But I want to end with this statement from Joseph Newman Boyka, and I want us to listen to Mr. Boyka here. I want us to listen to Boyka here. This is Boyka, and I want us to listen to this man.
Protocol system. You come to the mansion, you are overwhelmed. You go to the house, you are overwhelmed. You even go to go somewhere where you can take each other the first day you get there. By the time you look, everybody's there. It's a very difficult thing. I know Lafa doesn't go through that, but I do. Myself, I need a lot of a good protocol system. You come to the mansion.
You see, the man is even confessing to Liberian that he doesn't even have a protocol system. Can you imagine? Look, my people, you're understanding this thing? The man is saying, number one, he doesn't even have a good protocol system. So the entire government is in a disarray. Look, the thing that make the government is protocol. No wonder why everybody can just jump on and get taught. Kula Fofana ready to talk. Are you called Jalime Pia ready? Everybody can get to Osa Dante. So he himself admitting that he does not even have a protocol system. That is the first thing. Is this not a disgrace for a president to talk the kind of thing? He now had no protocol system. Let me forget about that. But for this man to come and say everywhere he go, people there, Liberian, that is our nature. That is who we are. We give to people. Look, I don't care how poor we are. I don't care how suffering. During the war, when you want to see enjoyment, go on Liberian refugee camp. Those that were in Ghana, those that were in Sierra Leone, those that were in Nigeria, they will tell you, you want to see enjoyment. People used to leave from in the city and go on the camp to go enjoy themselves. Because
It's
the camp
true.
used to be, sometimes people used to ask about when I got people in here, so they say they're fighting war, they really fighting war, like they want to enjoy
But
it. Like
free what a retail refugee.
definitely. So to
Ever,
see
ever.
a president crying and complaining, or anywhere I go, people behind me. This was the same old man y'all can remember when he went to Burma. As soon as the people came singing around, you know that thing is a culture, it's a tradition now. People come singing around. The first thing he said, but when the people there, the Liberian people, they left money too much. Anyway, you can't baking. Y'all remember? It was all over the
Yeah.
place. Anywhere the
Mm-hmm.
people can, the mark on you even know that the mark on you. They may say, how do people let baking? How do Liberian people let baking? So anywhere you can. That is our culture. That is traditional. Like here today again, saying overwhelmed. Anywhere you go, people coming. Anywhere you go, people coming. You see there when you
But
had President Weah who opened up to everybody to the
but
extent that look. So now I used to be thinking, I said, what? But then men can even sleep. When you go to President, even the place that he used to go and take a slave rest, at Jamaica Resort, you go there, forget it. You will just think that maybe I've done Watersa Market. People there, all over the place, people are there. And he will make sure to interact with his people, to sit down, to talk with his people before he even go to bed. To a horse park, forget it, a west. The horse is even worse. We went there. His house is
Mm-hmm.
even worse.
It's true.
So I'm talking about the areas that you can go. You go to areas that you go there, you see people there, and you will always make time for these people. He will always make time. Even if you will meet with people in group or meet them one by one, he will always make sure to meet with people. But let him hear. We ain't gonna know where he say, oh, when you crying, oh, the people this, the people that.
but that's the
Oh
same.
well,
But that's the same people, Brother Prince, if you can remember. Like the same broadcast man, he used to say, President George MANNEH Weah have made the Liberian people into beggars, like they just
yeah,
begging everywhere. And then he said the reason why they are begging because he's unable to provide job for them. And the only way the Liberian people will stop begging is to provide job. And that is what he was going to do when he come to power, to
thank
make
you.
and put the youth to employment so that they can start begging, because President we have reduced them to beggars. Now he's complaining because he's not giving the people a job. That's why they're coming to him too, asking him everywhere he go. And like Fofana, right? That was the same idiots that stood out there and said this president was never ever going to. In fact, this president will not go and introduce meeting project. The thing
Yeah, meeting project. I know.
will be huge and gigantic project. But in 2014, let's say 2024, what their president introduced? Police boot. 2025, what the president introduced? Mini so kind of water hand pump. We saw him to the Bapalu hospital, the Army hospital. What was he doing in there?
For the second
time,
the man go dedicate that particular hospital in Bapolu for the second time. But again, fellow Liberians, I want to say thanks to each and every one of you for your comments. Thank you so much. I want to welcome Dr. Elizabeth Gay Kamara. Thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, you know, Kula said that thing, and it's really funny. He said, no more the man will not take any kind of petty project. But look at now, in fact, a hand pump now. You know what?
It's tough on our government, man. It's tough on our government. They can find money. And please, before you close, you know, in April next month on the 15th, 16th at the rainy season. Before the rainy season end, you know, in the rainy season, nobody will do project. Nothing can go on. So before the rainy season ending, late October again, now 2 years going, that government all doing nothing. You. 2 years.
Every year small.
2 years gone. April 15 to October 15. Now 2 years strictly. Then with the next 4 years, there's nothing doing for them. They're not really working.
Fellow Liberian, want to say thanks to each and every one of you. Until we can meet again, have yourself a God bless day. Thank you so much, and bye from our end.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
We want to encourage those who want to remain corrupt and steal money, that I beg them. The money should be used to bless our people. Thank you, and God bless.